Hello, everybody. As you know, my name is Bradley. It's been a while since I uploaded on this channel. It's been around a bit over a year by this point since I uploaded my first video, uh, approximately. I just wanted to kind of explain where I've been and what's been happening with me, and yeah, explain the lack of uploads that I promised. Um, so I'm gonna start off with kind of a funny story, depending on how you look at it. Um, back in back in June, um, back when I don't know if I mentioned this in my last video, but um, I get when I smoke weed or do psychedelics or anything like that, I get drug-induced psychosis. So one day during the summer, I woke up one day and I decided to order some edibles. I ordered around 1,000 milligrams, um, just one bag, and I got the bright idea to eat the whole bag in one sitting. So, as you can imagine, 1,000 milligrams of THC combined with drug induced psychosis, it's not a very good mix.
No shit.
So, um, after I took them, I was normal up until that point. Um, and then once I decided at some point to go for a walk. So, when I was out on my walk, I was out there for quite a while. At some point, obviously, the edibles kicked in, and I started to have delusional thoughts, um, kind of like things that like weren't real, just kind of like I was in some kind of fantasy world, I guess you could say. And so I was walking down, I live in the country, I was walking down the country road, and I came to this house. There were two older gentlemen in there, and they came out and they're like, obviously, what are you doing on our property? You're trespassing, which I was, obviously. And yeah, so I was lucid enough to at least be able to leave the property and continue on my walk. And I believe, yeah, at the point that I arrived at their house, after I left, I'm assuming they called the police. So after I left their house, um, I forget where I was walking, but I was walking down a road and I walked by a different house. And I ended up, I walked up the driveway to the house, and I believe there was someone there. I don't know, but at that point, the police arrived at the house that I was trespassing at. Um, and then I don't really remember very much about the police encounter, but it ended up in me being tackled to the ground and put in handcuffs. And then I was put into a ambulance and they sent me to the hospital. At which point, obviously, from my parents' prior experience with me having these episodes, they deduced that I was in a state of psychosis. So I I was sent into the psychological ward and I was put in an isolation room until I was more coherent. And I was very out of it. Um, I was very far gone. So they injected me with some medication that was supposed to help with delusions and like um, schizophrenic symptoms, antipsychotic. Um, and I was in there for I don't know how long, maybe like a day or two. I didn't really have a concept of time until I was eventually lucid enough to be able to go onto the ward with the other patients. And I was in there for about 3 weeks. Um, Obviously, it's not fun. Anyone who's been to a psych ward before knows that it's not very fun. Well, at least when you're in a state of psychosis, um, it's not as bad because you're kind of in fantasy land and you're just kind of lost in your own thoughts and you're not really thinking about getting home or getting out. You're just kind of having fun with your delusional thoughts, I guess. It sounds crazy, but it's true. Um, it wasn't all bad though. I met a lot of good people in there. Um, I had some great conversations with some people. Um, the food there is pretty good, surprisingly. And then, yeah, so about after 3 weeks, I was released. At that point, I was still kind of, a little bit, I would say, off my rocker. But I was far away from how I was when I first got there. So yeah, that is why I haven't uploaded in a while. After I got out of the hospital, I kind of just forgot about the YouTube channel. But I actually did get some comments from you guys that I just saw today, and I'm very thankful for the kind comments that you guys left and the support that you gave on my first video. I thought it went pretty good. After I got out of the hospital, I was on medication so I got out of the hospital in around, I think, end of June, and I was on medication till around September. So after I was off the medication, I was drinking a little bit, which isn't good, obviously. After I was off medication, I had like a very small period where I was using marijuana again for a bit. The thing that got me to quit, it wasn't like, the fear of going back to the hospital or like, how my family would react to me going back. It was actually, it's kind of messed up. The thing that got me to stop was I took edibles, like not nowhere close to the dose that I took before I went into full-blown psychosis, because I somewhat learned from my first mistake. And there was a point after I got home from work, I think I took more edibles, and then my thoughts were like all weird, and I was like kind of scared that I was gonna go back into psychosis again. So after that, yeah, I completely quit. I haven't touched it since. After that, I went back to I've been working at a restaurant for about 4 or 5 years. I've had the job like forever. I worked there for a bit after, kind of getting back on my feet. And then I got a new job working at a factory, which I really enjoyed. The people there were really good. The work was nice. And I worked there for about 2 months. And then I got laid off, unfortunately. It wasn't really anything that I was doing wrong to my knowledge. I guess it was just, sometimes companies don't want to pay benefits and all that. So I've just been working at the restaurant since then. And after that, I've been going to college, actually, for a pre-apprenticeship carpentry program for about close to a month now, I think. So I'm really enjoying that. Not too sure if I really want to pursue carpentry as a career. I'm just, giving it a shot, seeing how it goes. After that, I'm thinking about maybe doing a academic program for either carpentry if I enjoy it, or electrical, and then trying to get an apprenticeship for electrical after that, or of course if I stay in carpentry I'll be doing that. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling a lot more stable. Actually, so when I was doing the factory job that I got after I came out of the hospital, I think it was in January that I finally quit nicotine, vaping and cigarettes. It was more so vaping, but I was smoking cigarettes too. Yeah, I've been off of nicotine for about 6 months now. And recently I have also quit drinking, and that has been for about a month and a half. So I am, as of a month and a half ago, completely sober from all substances. I am on, it's not really the same thing obviously, but I am on ADHD medication currently to kind of help with, getting tasks done and focusing at school and on the job, because I've found that I've had a lot of trouble with that since I got out of the hospital. Since I quit drinking, I feel a lot better. I feel more focused. I get up earlier in the morning, and I'm able to stick to daily habits and routines a lot more easily. I'm a lot happier, and life is great. And the actual date that I quit alcohol was June 8th, and as of recording this video, it is July 23rd. So I'm feeling pretty proud of that. So after that whole ordeal, it obviously wasn't fun for me, but since then, I've done a lot of work on myself. I've gotten into the habit of daily meditation and journaling. I'm trying to get exercise back in that mix. Not as successfully as meditation and journaling. I do those every day. So I'm feeling pretty confident that I'm on the right track and that I will continue down the right path to my future success. So I actually feel pretty grateful that I had the experience of going to the hospital for that third time, as funny as it may sound, because it gave me more strength, I feel. And the positive changes that I've made after coming out of the hospital have been excellent for my mental health and well-being. And I feel like since I've gone through the journey of finally reaching sobriety, I will have content to make about that, which is good. And also, since I've been partaking in new habits, I will also be able to make some videos on like how I managed to integrate daily and consistent habits to improve my mental health, my productivity, my focus, all sorts of things. So I'm really happy about that. And all in all, I think that this whole experience has been pretty positive for me. So I think that basically covers everything that I wanted to say today. So I want to thank everyone again for the kind comments that you left on my last video that I didn't get to see until now. And I'm looking forward to, hopefully, having a lot more content to post in the future coming soon. I can't make any guarantees because I tend to start a lot of things and not finish them. That's kind of the ADHD kicking in sometimes. But yeah. So thank you guys for watching. I hope maybe this video kind of inspired you guys in some way. Maybe give you some motivation to make some improvements in your lives. Be it, through creating new habits, improving your daily routine, or just, addiction recovery, anything really. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much, and have a good day, guys. Peace.